realized that his son was now in a difficult moment in his adolescence was the story of Luqman, which I want to examine tonight. Because imagine, there are prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who have no surahs of the Quran named after them. But Luqman had a surah of the Quran named after him. Yes? Nabi Isa has no surah of the Quran named after him. Is there a surah called Jesus? Is there a surah called Moses? No. Is there a surah called Dawood? No. Is there a surah called Adam? No. But there's a surah called Luqman. And Luqman was not a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah 31 of the Quran, Surah Luqman, looks at the life of this prestigious personality in history. And sadly, in our Muslim community, if you ask many of them, tell me about Luqman, I guarantee you 80% of the Muslim world does not know anything about his life. A whole surah, Surah 31, is dedicated to the most sensitive moment in the life of any father when their son has reached adolescence and is now questioning everything. And in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to hear this conversation. Why? So that you don't come in the year 2019 and say the Quran's just a history book. It doesn't relate to my life today. Because there are many today that say, listen, bro, I respect the Quran, but the Quran doesn't relate to my life at all. On the contrary, when you read the stories of people like Luqman, you find that these moments relate to all of our lives. Whether we take advantage of that moment or no, is up to us in our life. Therefore tonight, let's examine the father-son relationship in the eyes of the religion of Islam through Luqman. And I'd like to do this in the following stages. Number one, why did Allah reveal a surah after a person who was not a prophet of his? Number two, what are the 10 different advices that Luqman opens up with his son? And what are the 2 disclaimers he gives beforehand? Number three, at the end of these advices, how does Luqman tell his son that the example of riding a donkey gives you the whole meaning of life? Number four, how did the Holy Prophet teach us to talk to our sons? And how did he divide the upbringing of our children? Number five, what therefore in turn is the right of that father who has brought me up in this way? And how does our fourth Imam elaborate on that right? Let's look to examine this and dissect this topic in complete depth. The first question that arises is a very clear question. Why would there be a surah of the Quran named after a person who's not a prophet? Some gave the opinion that Luqman was offered prophethood, but rejected prophethood. Why? Because he said that, look, I understand that prophethood is a great task, but I would prefer not to take it on my shoulders. That's one opinion. Another opinion is that no, Luqman was one of the advisors of Nabi Dawood alayhi salam, and that he had a very high level of wisdom. Therefore the question arose, why did Allah name the surah after a person who was not a prophet? Allah was showing us, wisdom doesn't just come from prophets. You can get wisdom from anyone in life. Yes? Today in the world that I live, this world that I live in, I'm able to get wisdom from anybody. There are non-Muslims out there who give me unbelievable amounts of wisdom. Buddha gives me wisdom. Krishna gives me wisdom. Your Luther King gave me wisdom. People like Gandhi at certain points in their life gave wisdom. Wisdom is the lost treasure of the believer. You don't need to look at the religion of the person. Look at what comes from their mouth. Why? Because wisdom is higher than ilm. Any Tom, Dick and Harry can have ilm. Only Allah gives hikmah to who He decides. Yes? Therefore Luqman, what was his name? Luqman's title was Luqman al-Hakim. Luqman the wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him hikmah. He didn't need to announce him as a prophet. He never needed to announce him as a Rasul. When you see anyone therefore with wisdom, it could be your dad has wisdom, your school teacher has wisdom, your greengrocer down the road may have had years of wisdom. And Allah wanted to shatter the arrogance of the Arabs. That you're so arrogant towards a black man by the name of Bilal, I'll name a surah of the Quran after a black man from Abyssinia. In Arabia, they were racist towards the black. Bilal used to be known as the Black Crow of Muhammad. There was an unbelievable amount of racism. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named the surah of the Quran after Luqman, the intention was what? The intention was the surahs of the Quran can be named after any good human being. Yes? It doesn't have to be named after Nuh or Ibrahim. It doesn't have to be named after other prophets. This Luqman was an advisor to Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, but he was a man of wisdom. And his color has no bearing on his wisdom. You could get wisdom from black, white, brown, colored. We'll name a whole surah of the Quran after him. Therefore, you found that when the surah was revealed, of course the Arabs could not believe it, that Muhammad's Lord named the surah after a black man. A black man who's not a prophet of God. And then the surah got to its main part. What was it? Luqman's son had reached that age which many fathers are wary of. The moment their sons or their daughters hit bulugh and begin to ask questions. Yes? We all know very well, in my generation, if I ask my dad any question, you get a slap. If I said to Dad, where's God? Slap. If I say to him, I want to ask you a question about prophethood, slap. I want to ask you about the 12th Imam, does he really exist? Slap. In some cases, we couldn't even get to, I want to ask you, was slap before you even got there? You find that with Luqman alayhi salam, Luqman realized, my son has reached that age of adolescence. He's begun to doubt God, begun to be disrespectful. He's been a bit lippy recently. So what does Luqman do? Before the Quran even gets to his conversation, the first beautiful point was what? That Luqman made quality time for his son, not just gave time to his son. Yes? Luqman made quality time for his son. There are many fathers in the world today, there is no relationship with their son. Relationship is show me your grades. How much did you achieve? What's your grades? There's no sitting down in dialogue with their sons. No allowing their sons to open up. No friendship with their son. Luqman, from the beginning, the first thing he showed us, however much wisdom I have, it's of no use staying with me if I cannot pass it to my son. Yes? Ultimately, if I picked up all of this wisdom, either I can arrogantly keep it to myself, or I could sit my son down and say to the son, come here, let's discuss. And when he begins discussing with him, he does it in the most beautiful way. What does the Quran say? وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِإِبْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ. Luqman came to his son to advise him and said to him, oh my dear son. Notice every prophet in the Quran begins talking to their son in a very soft manner. Sometimes you'll find fathers who will be like, oi, oi, come here, oi. Or kid, what do you say, better? Better, excuse my pronunciation. Better, come here. Kid, come here. Boy, come here. No prophets of Allah in the Quran ever calls their sons by their names. You always notice when Ibrahim was about to go towards sacrificing Ismail, Ya bunayya inni ara fil manami anni adbahuk. Fanzur madha tara. The biggest dhulm is when a father is condescending to their son. It's a dhulm. Did you ever hear the Holy Prophet say to Hassan and Hussein, boys, come here? The flowers of my eyes. The heavenly ones on this earth. My dear, beautiful Hassan and Hussein. Because the moment you tell your son, my dear son, come sit next to me, his heart has already softened for you. Because he notices in you humility, love, respect, restraint. Luqman from the beginning, the Quran wanted to mention that the first lesson he taught us was what? Quality time. Second lesson, don't say better come here or oi you come here. I've seen many fathers, we go to the house and they'll shout, oi, go get them some tea now. Who are you talking to? That boy from that moment's broken. You turn around, you say, my dear son, if you have time, please, my dear son, let me help you. That soft language, he began right at the outset, Ya Bunay. The first thing he discussed with his son was the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now my son's an atheist. Is there a problem? No, not at all. We all begin as atheists. Read the kalima. What is the kalima? La, there's no God. La ilaha. Every Muslim began denying Allah. Think about it. When someone tells you what is the kalima for a Muslim, you begin by saying there is no God. Illallah. First you've rejected. At the beginning, part of the search for Allah involves questioning Allah. Ask any Muslim in the world, what's your kalima? Allah said, do not just say you believe in me. First understand me, reject all definitions, then accept me. When you found Luqman sat with his son. His son was wary. Is there a God or there's no God? Maybe there's no God. I want to question God. At that moment, Luqman has a few options. Either he can turn around and say, how dare you question Allah, come here and slap. Or he could say, there's the door, get out. Or he could say, I'll punish you. Or he could say, wait, son. Ya bunay, la tushrik billah. Inna ash-shirka la dhulmun azim. My son, if you're planning to believe, because you can either be a monotheist, polytheist, or atheist, do we agree? Either you're monotheist, polytheist, atheist, or agnostic. Agnostic, I believe there's something out there. No problem. That's actually a sign of a good Muslim. Because a good Muslim is somebody who's like, I'm not sure what it is, but something must be there. Then you have polytheist. Luqman looked at his son. His son said to him, Dad, you know what? I think there could be more than one God. Luqman could have turned around at that moment and said to him, listen, in our family for years, we believe in one God. How dare you? But we know in the school of Ahl al-Bayt, Usul al-Deen, you don't follow a marja'. Do you? Furu' al-Deen, I follow a marja'. Salah, I follow Ayatollah Sistani, for example. Saum, I follow a marja'. Hajj, I follow a marja'. Zakat, I follow a marja'. Khums, I follow a marja'. Tawheed, I follow a marja', or I have to find my own conclusion. Usul al-Deen in the school of Ahl al-Bayt requires aql and naql. It requires me to understand Usul al-Deen from the book and to understand Usul al-Deen through my aql as well. Luqman knew, I force my son to believe in God. In a few years my son will leave God. Luqman knew, if I talk to my son and debate him about God, he'll love Allah more at the end. Many Muslims with their sons, straight away, you cannot ask questions. You must believe in Allah. Do you know what the problem is with that? That child ends up fearing Allah more than loving Allah. That child ends up believing in Allah. But the belief in Allah is not one out of love. It's one out of fear. Luqman's son said to him, listen, Dad, I'm contemplating being a polytheist. When I'm contemplating being a polytheist, I have got the polytheism in my mind. What's your opinion? Polytheism, his dad turned around to him. He said to him, listen, my son, as for polytheism, you're telling me you want to believe in more than one God. If you want to believe in more than one God, that is the biggest volume that you can do. What do you mean volume? He said to him, if you believe in more than one God, if one of those gods, you say you believe in two, when one makes a decision, does that mean the other one didn't know? Or does that mean the other one wasn't powerful enough to make that decision? Or does that mean the other one was not wise enough to make that decision? When you believe in more than one God, when one is the God of good and the other is the God of evil, when the God of evil makes a decision, does that mean the God of good wasn't powerful enough to make that decision? Therefore, he said to his son, polytheism is a volume. Because when you say there's more than one God, you'll end up with what? With corruption. Then he said to his son, what do you want? Do you want to be an atheist? He said, yes, Dad. I think that there might not be a God. He said to his son, your existence, is it possible or is it necessary? Meaning, were you in charge of your existence? He said to him, no. He said, therefore you are a possible existence. He said to him, you are an effect? He said, yes. He said, there must have been a cause. Who was the cause? He said, you and Mom. He said, and we were an effect? He said, yes. And who was the cause? Our parents. And he said that they were an effect. Who was the cause? He said, if we keep going back and back and back, ultimately there has to be a first cause. That first cause is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did he turn around to his son and say to him, my son, you cannot question anything, you have no right to question? No. He turned around to his son and said, listen, I appreciate that you as my son can be a polytheist, can be agnostic, can be atheist, or can be a monotheist. But I want to be open in my discussion with you on this issue. Therefore, that first area he cleared with his son, what was it? That when I'm living in Bradford in the year 2019, and my son tells me, listen, Dad, I have certain doubts about God. At that moment, don't kick your sons out of the house. Either answer their question, or take them to somebody who can answer their question. Because sometimes the biggest problem is when you believe that you are the Mawlana, and you don't take them to the Mawlana, correct? Because sometimes you'll have some fathers who'll give an answer that's pure riffraff. Yeah? You're looking at him, you're thinking, Dad, I promise, if it wasn't that you were my dad, this is the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my life. But you're my dad, so I'm going to have to listen to you. When you can't answer the question, there are people who are skilled in the world of theology, in the world of law, in the world of ethics, in the world of spirituality. Take them to them. Let them answer that question. Luqman knew straight away. The first area with our children, theology. Get their tawheed straightened. Someone says, how? Make sure that they're at the local madrasa, learning about tawheed. And in that local madrasa, more than ever now, because atheism is strong now. Atheism on the internet now, there are so many websites where atheism are taking religion in circles. Our madrasas have become more and more important. But if my generation doesn't teach on that Saturday morning, you can forget the next generation. Go to many of our madaris, people my age in their mid-30s, where are they on Saturday morning? Where are they? I don't deny, Monday to Friday you're busy. I don't deny it. People are tired. But on that Saturday morning, that theology of that child has to be instilled at that moment. And the only way it will be instilled is either by scholars or by people in my generation coming back to teach those who are younger than them. Therefore, on the first level, he said to his son, Ya bunayya, la tushrik billah, inna ash-shirka la dhulmun adheem. Don't put partners to Allah, for it's the greatest oppression that you can do. Second thing he told his son, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ. My son, Allah has enjoined on you to be obedient to your parents. And more importantly, not me, your mom. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ أَنِ اشْكُرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ إِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ. What did he say? He said, my son, secondly, you believed in Allah. Belief in Allah is not complete unless you show obedience to your parents. Don't come and tell me I believe in La ilaha illallah and you're rude when your mother talks to you. Don't come and tell me I believe in La ilaha illallah and you're arrogant when you reply back to your mom. Don't tell me I'm a believer in La ilaha illallah when your mom wants to see you for a few minutes. You always tell her, Mom, I'm busy today, tomorrow. Because the true believer in La ilaha illallah is the one who recognizes what his mother carried him in her womb those months. It's a wonderful point. You know what Luqman just did to his son? He said to his son, La ilaha illallah is lip service if you don't appreciate what your mom's done for you. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. La ilaha illallah is lip service. You could say it all you want. When you can't make time for that mom of yours who made time for 2 years to suckle you, and 9 months she carried you. She didn't mind, wallah, you never forget these words of our fourth Imam. She didn't mind being awake so that you could be asleep. She didn't mind being in the heat so that you could be in the shade. True. In that period when our mother carried us, I asked all of you, can anyone repay their mother for that time that she carried them? He told his son, he's like, son, listen, belief in Allah is one thing. You want to complete it, your behavior to your mother is the criteria. Your mother, and that's why you all know Uwais al-Qarani. Uwais writes to the Prophet. Uwais was in Yemen. The Holy Prophet was in Medina. Uwais, Sufis love him. Shia love him. All of them admire him because of the fact that he was known as the most spiritual. And believe you me, without wilayat Amir al-Mu'mineen, he could never have been spiritual. Imam Ali says, where is Uwais al-Qarani? Where is Hussainia bin Thabit? Where are those warriors like Ammar bin Yasir? Uwais is buried where? Where's Uwais buried? Many of you have done the ziyarah. Raqqa. You remember we used to take the long trips to Raqqa. There were 3 graves. Ammar bin Yasir, Uwais al-Qarani, Hussainia bin Thabit. Of course, Uwais and Hussainia, they deleted them from history because of their love for Ali. Anyone who loved Ali was deleted. Uwais writes to the Prophet. He says to me, Ya Rasulullah, I love you. I can't wait to come and visit you. His mom doesn't let him. His mom from Yemen was one of these moms quite stubborn. She wasn't giving in. She said, listen, there's no way that you can come and visit me. Visit the Prophet. He's like, I beg you, Mom. I just want to go to Medina to visit the Holy Prophet. And I'll be back. And she wrote, and he wrote, and he wrote, and he wrote. The Prophet replied back to him. Visiting me is sunnah. Obedience to your mother is wajib.
Subhanallah.
Visiting me is sunnah, but obedience to your mother is wajib. I could go to Medina all night long, read dua. I could go Karbala with my friends all night long. If I'd been rude to my mom before I got on that throw your Karbala away.
Allahu Akbar.
Throw away.
Allahu Akbar.
Throw away. You could do ziyarah all night. You could be part of an anjuma, part of a matam part of God knows what.
Allah.
If your mom doesn't have that pleasure in your behavior, put that ziyarah away.
Allahu Akbar.
Rasulullah said to him, visiting me, sunnah. Obedience to mom, wajib. And that's why they found that person dying on his deathbed. He was on his deathbed. The lady sitting there, and they called the Holy Prophet, can you come next to him? The Holy Prophet came, that person was lying there on the bed. He said, what's the issue? He said, he cannot utter La ilaha illallah. The Holy Prophet turned around to the lady there. He said, can I ask you a question? She said, yes. He said, are you his mom? She's like, yes, I am. He said, how long haven't you spoken for? Straight away it connected. If you're on your deathbed and the words La ilaha illallah cannot come out, there must be a problem with your relationship with your parents.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
He said to her, how long? She's been a number of years. He said to her, forgive him for me. I am asking. Forgive him. He said the moment that she forgave him, the words La ilaha illallah came out of her mouth. Luqman, what did he say to his son? Believe in Allah, then your parents' obedience. Without obedience to your parents, then there is no belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then Luqman turns it on his head. He says, son, come back, wait, because his son was walking around. He said, come here. If your parents ask you to disobey Allah, disobey your parents and stick with Allah. My family has a wedding this summer. It's going to be a DJ. Because it's cool to have a DJ.
Zindabad, Murdabad, Allah.
My family is a DJ. Some Muslim cities have more alcohol in their wedding than you have in Britain.
Allah.
You go to Karachi at a good wedding, find a lot of alcohol. I don't know, I just heard. Or you go to other parts of the Middle East. My wedding also, I see the mixing galore. There's even dancing now. Us Maulanas don't get invited. They invite us for nikah only. Maulana sir, can you do nikah? Hey buddy, I want to see what you guys do tomorrow. No, you come for the nikah. Why? Can I come for the reception? You can't come for the reception, Maulana. Come on, buddy. I just want to enjoy the reception like you're enjoying the reception. I don't want to go to the reception because I know now alcohol is being served. I'm bringing a DJ playing music with some language which is far from our teachings. There's girls and guys mixing in a way. Look, mixing, you can meet girls and you can talk to girls, but if somebody's dressed provocatively, then in that way it becomes a haram gathering. But my mother says to me, you've got to go. They are our cousins. Luqman said to his son, obedience to your mom, son, is wajib. But then, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكْ بِي مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. If they ask you to disobey Allah, disobey your parents. Because ultimately there always has to be one winner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes? Because many feel they have a free right. That look, I couldn't do anything about it. My mom said they're our cousins, and you know, Islam says, when you have cousins, you must maintain a relation with them. Yes, when they're obeying Allah. If my cousin's disobeying Allah, I can maintain a relationship, but I don't have to attend everything that they organize. And this insistence that I have to because it's family, not at all. Who said because something's family you have to go? If now I have a family wedding coming up this summer, and I know there's going to be haram, do I have to go in Islam? No. I can send a gift, send a toast or some basic thing like that. That's if you're lucky, if they're generous. I can send something like that, but what did Luqman say to his son? He said, my son, obedience to your mother is wajib. However, if me and your mother are asking you to do something haram, and that haram is not just in weddings. Your mother asks you to hurt your wife or put her through a bad life to teach her a lesson. No. Yeah, but she's your mom. Not at all. Disobey her with akhlaq. Say, mom, what you're asking me, you're my mom. I respect you. But this goes against the teachings of Rasulullah. And anything that goes against the teaching, because there are many who are blackmailed by their parents. The parents blackmail them. I'm your mom. Jannah is under my feet. Doesn't matter. I would rather prefer to obey the owner of Jannah rather than you.
Subhanallah.
This is a reality, by the way. That Luqman wants to make clear. my son, just because I'm your dad, if I ever in my life ask you to do anything that means you have to disobey Allah, disobey me rather than disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what? Then he knew that his son was going off to college soon. So you know what he said to his son? He didn't say to him, listen, if you do anything wrong in college, I'm going to find you. No, nothing like that. He said something which was more shocking than that. Something that's all you need to do. And that is what? يا بني إنها إن تكن مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله. Oh my son, whatever act you perform, if it is the size of a mustard seed, and it is at the bottom of a stone, or in the heavens, or in the earth, know that Allah will show you it on the day of judgment. Because one way is that I could have hit my son, or I could have punished my son. No, rather listen, son, you're now baligh, you're adolescent. It's an easy world for you out there. But remember one thing, that whatever act you're going to perform, however small, don't be a friend of Allah in public and an enemy of Allah in private. True? Imam used to always say, don't be a friend of Allah in public and an enemy of Allah in private. When my son is going to college or uni, if I think he's not going to go out with girls, you're kidding yourself. I'm telling everybody from now. He's going to go, he's going to find it, he's going to get numbers, he's going to go and chill with them. These things are going to happen. Can a father be a big brother CCTV watching 24/7? Can that father? No! Luqman knew that as a father, the max I could do is tell him, son, whatever small act you do, every act that you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring on the day of judgment. And don't be scared of me and your mom. Rather think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why they asked our first Imam, what's the biggest sin? He said, the one you think is a small one. Yes. The biggest sin is the one that you think is a small one. There are many out there with their sons. It's not about forcing the son. You know what? You cannot do it. No, the son will get up to something. But Luqman said to his son that on the day of judgment, whatever small act, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring it forth. Then what did he say? Ya bunay, the most aqim as-salah, fundamental. What's he moved on now? From theology, he's moved on to social. Ya bunay, aqim as-salah. Establish salah. But don't establish it out of fear of Allah. Establish it because you love Allah. Imam Amir used to say, my Lord, I do not worship you out of fear of hell, for that is the worship of a slave. Nor do I worship you because I want heaven. That's the worship of a businessman. I worship you because I found you worthy of being worshipped. That's the worship of a free human being. Free human being. He said to his son, Ya bunayya, aqim as-salah, establish salah. Why? Because the dignity of the human and the dignity of a Muslim lies in their salah. No doubt. No doubt. If you cannot say thank you to Allah for what He's done for you in life 5 times a day, you have no dignity whatsoever. Because with what Allah has given us in life, we should be thanking Him 1,000 times a day. Yes. 5 is an absolute minimum. No doubt Luqman didn't tell his son, make sure you fast, make sure you go to Hajj, make sure you do zakat. None of those, no. Aqim as-salah. Establish at least salah. At least try your hardest to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What salah? When I'm going down in sujood, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdih. I'm grateful to my Lord 5 times a day. That father out there who goes, you know what, I don't want to force them, they're too young for them to pray. No. Right from a young age, salah is a must. But don't tell him to pray and you haven't prayed. There are many out there, fathers, who will tell their sons, have you prayed Maghrib? Sons looking at it, I ain't seen dad move from that couch for about 3 hours. Son, don't lie to anybody. The phone rings 5 minutes later. He looks at his son. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. But Dad is a no lie. This is not lying. It's a white lie, black lie. When a father tells his son, Luqman said to his son, Aqil, the first thing Luqman did, practice what he preached. I can't tell my boy, have you prayed Fajr, when I haven't woken up for Fajr for a few years. I can tell my boy, make sure you concentrate on Salah when I'm concentrating on my Salah. The first thing Luqman did, Ya bunayya aqim as-salah, number one. Number two, he gave him a social aspect to life. Ammar bil-ma'roof wanha 'anil munkar. Enjoy that which is good and forbid that which is evil. Don't be a bystander. You see oppression in your society, don't remain silent. There are many out there in the world, silent when they see oppression. Luqman told his son, listen son, Amr bil ma'roof, when nahi 'anil munkar, when they're put alongside salah, make the most perfect human being. Yes. Then after that, what do you say? Wasbir, fundamental point. Have sabr, my son, on what you're about to see. Inna dhalika min azm al-umur. It's difficult, but try and have sabr. You're going to college, you're going to have someone who's going to supply you with something you're going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy it. Try and have patience in your obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not easy. The peer pressure is telling you, listen, we're all going clubbing on Friday. If you don't join us, you're not one of the cool boys. All he told his son was what? Wasbir ala ma asabak. Have sabr on what's about to come to you. I know that you're going to have peer pressure. You're going to have people telling you, smoke this, drink this, go here, do this, commit zina, etc. Try and have that patience with you. If that patience is there, then you would have made me proud, my son. Then what does he say? He goes on to the most important aspect for him, the akhlaq of his son. What does he say to him? وَقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ. Sorry, first he says, وَلَا تُصَعَّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. Don't turn your cheek away from people, and don't walk arrogantly on the earth. Even if you believe in Allah, and you've shown obedience to your mom, and you've thought about all your namaz, one turn of arrogance, all of them go down the drain. Because more important than anything in Islam is the akhlaq of a Muslim. There are many who believe in Allah, but he said to him, وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. Just because you believe in Allah, if you walk on this earth, my son, arrogantly, someone who's a beggar in Bradford now, I'm walking, and that beggar says, give me something. There's two ways I can react. Either me and my friends can just walk away and laugh, or we could humbly say, I'm sorry, I don't have anything on me. Look at the difference between the two. In one, you had a Muslim with no dignity. In the other, you had a Muslim who was a reflection of the akhlaq of his Prophet. True? That's a beggar. That beggar, even if I cannot give a pound or 2 or 5, the least I could do is not turn my head arrogantly away from them. Because we don't know what the background is of what that beggar's been through. True? So he said to him, وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. Allah does not like those who walk around arrogantly. Then he said, وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ وَاقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ. وَاقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ. He said to him, walk humbly on the earth. Salah, Allah, all of these don't mean anything unless you walk humbly on this earth. There are some who believe in Allah, believe in Ahlul Bayt. You see them walking around, it's a bob, it's not a walk. The shoulders are moving like a flood. You're thinking, hold on, you're coming into a majlis or you're coming into a fight? You're coming to do Azadari Baba Abdullah, you're coming to punch someone up. He said to him, son, the way a Muslim walks and the way a Muslim talks is what makes a Muslim. صد في مشيك واغضض من صوتك. But when you're talking to someone, talk to them in a soft manner. Smile with them. For the greatest charity, my son, is to smile. Smile next to each other as one. The greatest charity is to smile with one another. How many times do you see so many out there in the world today, you get in the train on the bus, wallah, they look depressed like you won't believe. True. All the money in the world, the degree, the family, but no smile. Whereas the sign of a Muslim is that they smile with one another. Correct? He said to him, in your walk, my son, be humble. And in your speech, my son, speak softly. For silence is more preferred to speech, like gold is preferred to silver. Meaning what? Meaning that sometimes your da'wah can be in your silence, not in your speech. Just be soft. With a smile, people will come towards you. For he said, إِنَّ أَنْكَرَ الْأَصْوَاتِ the worst of the sounds is the sound of the donkey. His son said to him, Dad, thank you for your time. Look at how much a son is affected because of the dialogue with their dad. It's not, you must, and if you don't, and I'll punish. No. He said, Dad, thank you very much. He said to him, son, come in. I'm going to give you one more piece of advice. He said, what is it? He said, walk with me. Sometimes you need to take a drive with that boy. Every once in a while, listen, let's get in the car and drive. Let's go somewhere. Let's go chill somewhere. Let's go relax somewhere. No harm. How many fathers have taken out of their time to actually go and relax with their sons? Just kick back. He finally said to him, listen, son, I'm going to give you one more piece of advice, and then I'll let you live your life. I've told you about God. I've finished that responsibility. And I've told you about parents. I finished that one. I told you that whatever you're going to do, Allah's registered with 2 angels writing. And I've told you salah is your dignity, but without akhlaq, you're nothing. He said, come walk with me. He said, what is it, Dad? He said, you already gave me the advice. He said, just come walk with me. They were walking and walking. They had their donkey with them while they were walking. He said, son, what I'm about to show you is the most important lesson you're ever going to learn.
Subhanallah.
He said, what is it? When him and his dad were walking, the donkey was with them. Someone all of a sudden came, and he saw the 2 of them, and he saw the donkey. So Luqman started riding the donkey, and his son was walking. Someone came and said, what a bad dad. He rides a donkey while his poor son walks. Luqman then said, I'll come down. He made who? He made the son ride the donkey. Someone walked past, and he said at that moment, how rude is that young boy? His old man is walking while he's on the donkey. Then they both decided to walk, and someone walked past and said, look how stupid these 2 are. They have a donkey, and they're both walking. Then they both rode the donkey. And someone walked past and said, that poor donkey, how much more must be done? He said to him, my dear son, the biggest lesson I'm going to give you in life, however much you try to please the people, you'll never be satisfied. Just try to please
Subhanallah.
One more now. That sounded very strong. However much you try to please the people, you'll never be able to please the people. You could give the best majalis in the world, they'll still point at something in your life. You could give the best of service to people, they'll still find a black dot. You're only one who you should seek to please is Allah.
Subhanallah.
For ultimately, if all the people leave you, He will never leave you. And while all the people are asleep, He is the one who is always awake. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. And while all the people will die, هو الحي الذي لا يموت. Therefore, from this story, what happened? His son grew up, there was that relation with their father, it's helped the faith of his son. And that's why the Holy Prophet used this story, peace be upon his family, when he came and they asked him, Ya Rasulullah, how should a father be with their son? He said 3 stages of 7 years. The first 7, let them be free. Let them, they are maqsoom. Let them relax, let them chill, let them enjoy. Don't be harsh towards them. The second 7, discipline them. 7 to 14 is the time of discipline. 7 to 14, it's not wajib on them to pray. Slowly introduce salah into their life. It's not obligatory to fast. Slowly. Akhlaq must come in that 7 to 14. Then they said to Muhammad, the third stage, he said 14 to 21. What's that stage, O Prophet of God? He said, be their friend at that stage. Look how beautiful that line is. There are too many today. 7 to 14 is when they are friends. 14 to 21, they try to discipline. Too late. It's gone. 7 to 14, discipline. 14 to 21, be their friend. Be their friend means what? Means try and enjoy things which they may not necessarily enjoy. You may not necessarily enjoy, but they may enjoy, for example. I remember when I was 15, now my dad is a big Manchester United fan. La'natullah alayhi.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Should have much more Nara Haidaris than that. Liverpool football player who just done another Haidari.
In your dreams.
He is a United fan, and he knows that I am a huge Liverpool fan.
Brilliant.
15 years of age. Do you know how hard it is for a man to not just see his son become a scout, but also on top of that, for him to take his son to watch the game, the Liverpool game. But you wonder why? Because he knew on the way to that game, I'll be in such a good mood. I'll be able to open up to him, become friends. He can hear what I'm going through. In that short period leading up to that game, we don't become father-son anymore. We become best friends now. Too many today, sadly, have neglected that friendship. That even if you see your son likes a sport that you don't like, go with him to that sport. Sit with him on that sport. Enjoy that sport with him. Because that period, 14 to 21, is a vital period. And that's where Amir al-Mu'minin used to say to his son Imam al-Hassan, oh my son Hassan, the heart of a youth is like an uncultivated piece of land. Whatever you throw on it, it accepts. Therefore, I tried to mold your heart before it hardened. So you were able to learn from my lessons and apply them into your life. Yes. Imam al-Hassan, with all his greatness, Ma'soom, grandson of Rasulullah, everything, still Imam Ali said that your heart is an uncultivated piece of land. Find me any land in Bradford uncultivated, many will want to invest on that land. Some investors get planning, others don't. Some will build properly, others don't. Unless you get that land first, there are many others who are going to look to take your son's heart away from you. But saying all this, if my father has been a great father, my father was my best friend, my father was open-minded, what's his haqq on me? We said our haqq on our father. But what's my father's haqq on me? No one described this better than Imam Zayn al-Abidin. Salawatullah wa salam. Imam, in his wonderful line, the right of the father in Risalat al-Huquq.
Wow.
The best book to give to a non-Muslim. Best book to give to a non-Muslim, when you ask me, I don't say the Quran. The Quran, if you don't understand the context of the verses, then you give it to a non-Muslim and you're like, you know, this is the best book ever, and he opens at chapter 9 verse 5, kill the disbelievers wherever you see them. Then someone says, no, but I want to give the Quran. In many cases, you shouldn't give a book that you yourself haven't read completely. Someone says, I want to give Nahj al-Balagha. Nahj al-Balagha, if you don't have your history, it's very difficult to understand the context. So what's the best book? Risalat al-Huquq. The Treatise of Rights. Ali ibn al-Hussein. What a book. The right of God. The right of your nafs. The right of your eyes. The right of your tongue. The right of your stomach. No Nahari Empire. Actually, you guys should never read the right of the stomach. The right of the private parts. Even the right of the mu'adhin who calls you to salah. You should always go and thank him because he's inviting you to free thawab. The right of the non-Muslim. The right of your neighbor. The right of your brother. The right of your sister. The right of your mother. And then the right of your father. And you know what he says? وَأَمَّا حَقُّ أَبِيكَ فَتَعْلَمَ أَنَّهُ أَصْلُكَ وَأَنَّكَ فَرْعُكَ وَأَنَّكَ لَوْلَاهُ لَمْ تَكُنْ. Know that your father, his right is that he is your root and you are his branch. And if it wasn't for him, you would never be. فَمَهْمَا رَأَيْتَ فِي نَفْسِكَ مِمَّا يُعْجِبُكَ فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ أَبَاكَ أَصْلًا نِعْمَةً. Whenever you see anything in yourself that you're proud of, then know that your father is the root of that blessing. Many times when people ask you, how comes you've done so well in life? Yeah, it was all me, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. If it wasn't for your dad's dua, you're nothing. Without your parents' prayers, without your father's sweat, without running around for you, you're nothing. Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, you know what the right of your father is? Whenever you feel proud of something in your life, know that the father is the root of that blessing.
Subhanallah. Allah.
So they asked him, what are the 4 rights when we have such a father? He said, number 1, never call your father by his name. Today you see someone, he's talking to someone who's like, hey Steve. You're like, who's Steve? He's like, Dad. Hey Steve. What's Steve? Say Baba, say Dada, say Papa. Now it's become normal. Habibi, Muhammad. Who's Muhammad? Muhammad, my dad. Why are you calling Muhammad? Imam Zayn means the first right of your father when you know he's being good to you. He's being soft to you. Is that the first right? Never call him by his name. Secondly, never walk into a gathering ahead of your father. You and your dad are entering the mosque. Dad, you go first.
Wow.
Never enter ahead of dad. Thirdly, never sit until your dad has sat. How many times you're coming home and you've done some shopping at the local supermarket? How many dads do you see carrying bags and their sons have run into the front room on the remote watching TV? Imam Zayn said, when you have such a blessing like a dad, you walk in somewhere, he sits, you sit. Until he sits, they standing. Fourthly, never do anything that brings abuse to your dad's reputation. There are many out there, you tell them, bro, don't do it. It's haram. He's like, I don't care. Okay, if you don't care, at least out of respect for your dad. If you don't think what you're doing is wrong, why does your dad have to be embarrassed every time he walks into a gathering because of you? Imam said the fourth right of your father is that you do not do anything that brings abuse to his name. Forget your name. You might say, I don't care. Nobody can judge me. I'm my own person. They're going to judge your dad. And they're going to take it out on your dad. And for him especially, the dad, like Nasser and his brothers, may Allah bless their dad's soul. Dad can teach you many things in life. Dad can teach you salah. And your dad can teach you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love. And your dad can teach you dua. And your dad can teach you akhlaq. It's one thing we always wanted to tell our dads after they died. You never taught me how to cope without you in my life. True. How many of us wish for one more conversation with our father, where we're able just one more time to take him out for lunch or dinner? While he was with us, we took it for granted. How many wish that on their mobile, one more time, it rings dad? Because don't take it for granted now when you see dad on your phone. There'll be a day that dad doesn't pop up. And especially for him, losing his dad was the most difficult moment. Why? Because Imam Zain al-Abidin's mom died giving birth to him. His mother died a few days after she gave birth to him. Therefore, from a young age, he had been extremely close to his father. Imagine on the morning of the 10th of Muharram, having to see your father alone. And you know what broke him the most? When his father returned after burying the 6-month-old baby. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, having just buried the 6-month-old baby, Imam Hussain alayhi salam returned back. A lonely Aba Abdullah, calling out, هل من ناصر ينصر أما مضمضيف يغيث عن حرم رسول الله. He was calling out these words, and he returned back towards his tent. He heard a call in the tent. Give me a sword and give me a stick so I may stand up, and a sword so I may defend my father. He said, who is it? They said, it's Ali ibn al-Hussein. He said to him, oh, Ali ibn al-Hussein, remain calm, remain patient. You are the Imam after me. The next time he saw his father, if we could just have a couple of the lights on if you don't mind. The next time he saw his father was when, I just want you to come with me on this journey. The haqq your father has over you. The first haqq is what? Is that you bury your father. Normally you bury your father the same day, don't you? Imagine 3 nights on the plains of Karbala with no one to bury his holy body. On the 13th, they narrate of Muharram, the narrations mentioned Banu Asad had come to Karbala. They wanted to bury the holy bodies that were there. When they wanted to come and bury these holy bodies, they looked around, they wanted to bury them, but there was a problem. Many of these bodies had no heads attached to them. There were some bodies with no heads, others with no arms. All of a sudden, from the distance, they saw a man coming towards them. They didn't know, is this man with the army of Yazid, or is he with us? When they saw the man coming towards them, the narrations mentioned that they came near him. He said to them, what are you doing here? They said, we only have come to see what's happened over here. He said to them, no, tell me, what are you doing here? They said, we've come to bury the body of Abu Abdullah. And we've come to bury the body of the rest of the companions. So he said to them at this moment, he said, then why haven't you buried the bodies? They said, we don't know which body belongs to who. Yes. So at this moment the Imam said to them, he said, go and dig 3 different graves. They went and dug 3 different graves. The narrations, what do they mention? They mentioned that having finished the graves, they asked him, who do we bury? He said, in the first grave, bury Habib ibn Madahir alone. Yes. When you go to Karbala, you'll see Habib alone in his grave. How about the second grave? He said, put all the companions into that second grave. Shuhada, Karbala. Then how about the third grave? The narrations mentioned that for the third grave, he said, bury the family of my father. They buried the family. Then he said to them, now I'm going to walk towards the body that only me and the angels can bury. He began walking towards the holy body of Abu Abdullah, yes? He hadn't seen him since Shimmer sat on his chair. He hadn't seen what had happened afterwards. As he got closer, the narrations mention he stopped. Why? He saw the finger of Imam al-Hussein. Because after they had killed Imam al-Hussein, he had the ring of his grandfather, Rasulullah. Someone tried to pull the ring out, they couldn't. They tried again, they couldn't. They cut the finger of Imam al-Hussein. He got that finger. He got nearer to his father's body. He turned around to Banu Asad. He said to them, Banu Asad, please bring me a prayer mat. They said to him, why do you want to pray? He said to them, no. Then they said, why? He said, so I may gather the pieces of my father. I ask you, how many times did the horses kick his body? He gathered his father. He buried him where he lies in Karbala today. As he was leaving, someone from Banu Asad shouted to him, oh, Ali ibn al-Hussein, there's a body alone by the Furat. All of you know which body. There's a body alone by the Furat. When we lift the right side, the left falls on the ground. When we lift the left side, the right falls on the ground. Do you know what he called out? Assalamu alayka ya Aba al-Fadl. He began the walk towards Aba al-Fadl and he buried Aba al-Fadl. Years after Karbala, would you ever forget your father? If you ask Nasr and his brothers, can they ever forget their father? There are moments they'll remember their father. Likewise with the Imam, there were many moments in which he'd remember his father. If you saw a butcher about to slaughter a sheep, he would come to the butcher and he'd say to him, may I ask you, have you given water to the sheep? And the butcher would say, of course, O son of Rasulullah. He said to him, did you? He said, yes, it's a creation of Allah. It deserves water before it dies. He said, my father died first. But even more than that, the narration mentions when Imam Zayn al-Abidin was dying, the poison had now surrounded his body. The narrations mention that Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam came towards the Imam. When he came towards his father's body, he said, I saw the poison all over my father's body. So when I saw that poison, I came and I hugged my father on the chest. The moment I hugged my father on his chest, I saw my father crying a way I've never seen him cry before. I said to him, Father, what's wrong with you? All I did was hug you. In a moment you'll see Rasulullah. In a moment you'll see Fatima al-Zahra. In a moment you'll see Imam Ali. In a moment you'll see Imam al-Hassan. In a moment you'll see your father, Imam al-Hussein. Why did you cry when I hug you on my chest? I want you to all hear this reply. He said to him, my son, I cry because when I am dying, you are on my chest. Whereas do you know who sat on the chest of my father? I had to see shimmer on the chest. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون واللعنة الدائمة على القوم الظالمين. Please excuse me, I have the flu today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all shifa insha'Allah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in honor of Nasr and his family. May Allah bless their souls. Ya Allah, bless the souls of his relatives insha'Allah. Of all their marhumeen. The originators of this majlis, Ya Allah, allow them to continue in the service of Muhammad and Muhammad. Allow our sons to be righteous in the way of Luqman and his sons. Allow us to be amongst those who follow the message of the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, give patience to those families in New Zealand in this difficult time. And the patience to families who live in Yemen today, who face difficult times. And patience to the whole of the Muslim Ummah in this difficult period. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Surah Al-Fatiha, but before it, the loudest of your salawat.